It's time for the Movin' the Chains podcast. Your home for high school football coverage in the Palmetto State. Every team, every game, every week. And now your hosts, Kevin Thomas and Jarrell Hendricks.
Welcome in to Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Jarrell Hendricks. Got a great interview today, a very special guest, the new head coach of the Lewisville Lions, Trent Usher. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Doing well, man. We appreciate your time. We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, check us out on Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Movin' Chains. Our website, movinchains.com. Our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Coach Usher was hired in March. He was defensive coordinator at Lewisville for the past 2 seasons. Prior, he spent time at Central Pageland. Coach, let's start there. What's the transition been like, to being the DC to now taking over for Coach Bullware and being the head man in charge there?
Yeah, it's been good, man. The kids have been good. What was his name? Who was the head coach?
Hey, you got to get it back.
I love that.
You owe him that one. I love it.
Love that.
But nah, man, it's been great. And when I applied for the job, my main thing going in was if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we're not changing anything we do offense or defensively. And that's the good thing about the spring, that the kids are not learning anything new. We're just going back to the basics and getting good on those things.
Coach, if you don't mind, just going through your background, we want to know how you got to this point. I know Kevin touched on your previous stops and, you being the DC, but tell us how you got into coaching, maybe your playing career and, a little bit about you.
Oh, man, let's see. I graduated high school in 2004, was lucky enough to get a scholarship to University of South Carolina. Transferred to Coastal Carolina, where I finished out playing, graduated in 2009. Came back home, had no clue what I wanted to do at all. So was sitting at the house one day, and my head coach from high school came by and offered me the DB job at Central. And I took it, and we were lucky enough, my first year there, we go 15-0, win the state championship. And then the next year, we play for it and get beat. And he retired, and I coached under Craig Hatcher at Central, and then when he moved on, I got the head job there, was the head coach at Central for 5-6 years. Then stepped down, and Coach Bower gave me a call, and now here we are. So
I love it. Well, Coach, you mentioned obviously you've been on staff there at Lewisville, so I'm sure you probably kept a lot of the same guys around you in place now that you're the head man. But did you have any changes to that staff from last year? Any additions or anybody that you had to replace?
No, we brought in Coach Squirewell to do our defensive line, but everybody else is pretty much the same. Said Coach Edie's going to take over the play calling duty for Coach Bower since he's moved on, and everybody else is pretty much the same, which has been a good thing.
So for those who aren't familiar with your program, we've been following you guys pretty closely the last few years. On offense, y'all like to sling it around. On defense, y'all really get after it. Can you describe that offensive style, your defensive scheme, and will you continue to call plays?
Offensively, we're air raid. We're going to put more emphasis this year on running the football, just because I think we're going to have our best offensive line since I've been there in 2 years. It's probably going to be the best group of guys up front that we've had. But yeah, we're going to sling it. We're going to get guys in space and get on the ball quick and let them make plays. And defensively, I'm a 4-3 base, but I don't put them in a 1 and 3. I put them head up. I move them around. I like the blitz, and that's going to stay the same. And yes, I'm going to keep calling plays on the defense side of the ball. That's my baby. I love it. I can't give that up.
Coach, you've been a coach now for several years at the assistant and the head coaching role, but who are some guys maybe that you kind of, really leaned on early on or even now to kind of learn some things from and to kind of maybe model your style after, whether it's a high school coach or even a guy at the college level you like to watch or something like that?
My dad, when he was alive, he was very, very successful head coach, won 3 state championships, won over 250 games. I like to do what he did. He was a defensive guy too. He liked to blitz. I try to model my stuff after him. Just, the game's changed. Back then it was 3 yards in cloud of dust. Now, while these offensive guys doing these RPOs and all that stuff that's illegal that never gets called, but you know how that goes. You gotta dwarf and find some stuff to do. And then Coach Mangle, who was my head coach my senior year, I lean on him a lot just because he's like a second daddy to me. I call him with any question I got trouble without even football. I mean, it might be family issues or something like that. It's always great to have a guy in your corner like that.
Coach, I can't let you be this humble. I mean, you had quite the playing career, in high school, going to Carolina and Coastal. And then, being the son of a coach who was, like you said, very successful. What does that mean to you and, kind of following his footsteps in his profession, especially in the state of South Carolina?
Oh, it's tough. Just don't, you go back to your alma mater and take over as head coach. Everybody thinks you're going to be your daddy. But, that it's tough, but at the same time, I welcome the challenge. Like I said, he was very, very successful. Just hopefully I can get as many wins as he did. So we're working on that.
You guys have had, kind of, I would say maybe a younger team the last couple of years, but guys that have played a lot of football, and now they're kind of in that junior, senior role, upperclassmen for you guys. So who are a few of those guys that we should be on the lookout for that could be special players and have a big impact for the Lions this season?
How long we got?
as long as you need, Coach.
Offensively, man, Tay Robinson, he takes the top off the defense for us. Ja Howes in the slot, who I'm looking at, he's probably going to have a monster year. Jordan Strong, Zach Rogers, Peanut Harris, Jordan Fields, Jalen Cup. I'm glad I'm not calling offense. We got a bunch of guys we got to get the ball to. I guess that's a good problem to have. But those guys on the offensive side should have a great year. And then defensively, up front, J.B. Buchanan, he should have a monster year. Elijah Baker's back defensively. Zach Rogers, Jordan Strong, Tamon Hughes, Peanut Harris on the other side, Ja, Tay. We're going skill set, we're set, man. What we've done, what we're going to do this year that we hadn't done the past 2 years, we had the numbers 2-2 platoon, but my thing is I want to put the best athletes on the field, and that's what we're going to do. And if that means we only going to dress 11 and take 11, that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to use guys both ways. Ethan Shipman, that's another up front offensive line who's going to play some defensive line for us. Gavin Reynolds is a guy that hadn't played. He's a baseball guy, but he's coming out 6'3", probably 230, 240. He's going to help us on the offensive line and defensive line. So, we're going to move those guys both sides of the ball, and we're going to be in shape, and they better be ready to roll.
What is it about your program, Coach, that we're, you're a lower classification program, but like you said, you have numbers, what's so special about that community, about your school, to where you can attract so many guys to want to be a part of your football program?
Man, first of all, you start in a community, man. Our community is awesome. If you come out on Friday night, we don't look like a 1A school. Our stands are packed, and they always have our back, and the kids want to play. Growing up, and Rock Hill's right down the road, but being from a rural community, all you got to do is play ball, either baseball, basketball, football, whatever. And I think that's for their parents all the way up. That's what they're taught. And when they get to high school, they just want to play.
Coach, we're sitting here, it's mid-July. You've already been through spring practice, already been through 7-on-7, all that type of stuff. What have you been able to kind of learn about your team so far in that earlier period?
Just that, like you said earlier, that we're older. And it's, it makes your job as a coach easier when you have older guys who's been in the system like right now for 2 years. Like I said, it frees us up as coaches to go back and spend more time on the basics than it is trying to install everything where the guys know it. And that makes it easier. I think leadership this year has been a big thing just because the guys are getting older. And other than that, I think they made my job tremendously easy, trying to, instead of coming in, we're going to install something new. No, it's, those guys just being older, it's been a big plus.
Coach, you've repeatedly mentioned you got the foundation there. You have great community support, and then you've really carried on a lot of what's already been going on as schematically. What have you done to specifically put your stamp on the program?
Trying to see. I ain't changed anything, man. I'll tell you the truth. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We keep it the same, and with Coach Bower, what he built, I don't want to change that because we hadn't won at Lewisville, and I wasn't here, but I don't think they won too many games before we got here. And I'm not going to change anything other than we practice in the afternoon, not in the morning. I like to sleep a little bit, but Bower, he likes to get up and crack of dawn. But other than that, we're going afternoon. That's about it.
You mentioned it, Coach. You guys have had a couple of really good seasons here lately. Really good regular seasons. Maybe not quite the success in the playoffs you've been looking for, but what's it going to take, this year maybe to take that next step and make a little bit deeper run in those playoffs?
Be consistent. Last year it didn't end like we wanted to. Got beat 7-0. Defensively, we should have got a stop. I knew going in what they were going to do, and offensively, we got to make some plays, and we had a chance to make some plays that game. We dropped some passes, put some balls on the ground. But, we just got – with us, like I keep saying, being older, mature, I think those guys are ready to take the next step. They better be. And then, you can say the private schools went out, but guess who came down? It was Abbeville. So to beat a man, you got to beat the man, and I don't care who you are. Abbeville 1 through 5A, they'll play anybody. I think they'll be competitive. So we still got our hands full. And, like I said, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And hopefully we get to play them. We'll see.
Coach, you mentioned your offensive schemes air raid. So this particular time of the year is very important for you guys to get that chemistry. With 7-on-7s, did you guys participate in a lot of those? And if so, how did it go this offseason?
We did, and I hate 7-on-7. I can't stand it. That's just me. You'll start playing games, and your linebackers are out there, and they're already dropped 8 yards deep for the balls and snap. So if you're going to do that in a game, we're just going to run it. But, we participated in some. It went good. We're still new at the quarterback position, working in 3 guys there. And there was some learning curves, but we ended up at the Lower Richland the last Thursday in June was our last one. I think we went 3-5 down there, 4-5, something I can't remember. But, we're getting there. And like I said, 7-on-7, some people like it. I can't stand it.
Take your financial game to the next level with Founders Federal Credit Union. Reach your full potential. Relax. Join Founders today. Visit an office near you or relaxjoinfounders.com to apply. Federally insured by NCUA, member qualification required.
Coach, got a couple easier ones here for you before we let you go today. Maybe it's in your office on a home game Friday night, or maybe on the bus to an away game. But what's on that pregame playlist as you get ready for action on a Friday night?
Ooh, man, I'm multiple, man. I'm a 90s dude. Let's go. First of all, Phil Collins, you can feel in there tonight. That's way up there. I like some Adele, Chris Clapton, Morgan Wallen, throwing some Nelly, Nirvana, NWA, Tupac. I'm multiple, man. I can listen to anything, but yeah, it's I don't really listen to music that much for the game. I would say it's during the school day. I play it a lot. For the game, I'm sort of focused and trying to get ready. But yeah, man, I love music, any kind.
You're the son of a coach, so you know a lot about this state. I got to ask you, what's the toughest environment you've ever coached in, and what's the toughest environment that you've ever played in?
Ooh, toughest environment I ever coached. Woodruff. man, I don't know if y'all been to a game. Woodruff, we played them for the Upper State Championship in 2010, and that is the loudest place I have ever been in. I don't know if y'all been there. They got those speakers in the end zone. They block off half the visitor section, so those people, their fans can sit over there. And I'll tell you the truth, we went out for warm-ups. I want to say it was 7:30 kickoff. We went out 6:15, 6:20, and their side was completely full. You know, that was a great game too. Yeah. Coaching wise, that's probably the toughest spot. Playing wise, Abbeville. That's tough. And they start them Abbeville Panthers chants, and they start ringing them bells and on whatever they do over there. Yeah, it gets crazy. It's a tough place to play. I was fortunate enough. No, we got beaten overtime, dang it. They went for 2. Yeah, so never mind. Yeah.
Well, Coach, the schedule is out for this year, and come to have an opening game of the season for you guys are playing your alma mater, Central Pageland. How special is that, or I guess what kind of just dynamic is that going to be for you playing your new school head coach first game against where you grew up pretty much?
Yeah, man, and people. I still live in Jefferson, which is about 10 minutes from Pageland. So, of course, I run into people all the time at the grocery store, at church. That's all they talk about, and it's gonna be special. My buddy Jonathan Easton, he's the head coach there now. Me and him play high school ball together. It's gonna be bittersweet. It's something I grew up playing there, and ball boy. Daddy's coach there for a long time. But at the end of the day, I'm in it to win. I'm a Lewisville guy now, and hopefully we get the W.
This is a question we ask everybody that joins us. We're heading over there to Lewisville to catch a game on a Friday night, but pregame we got to eat. What's the best places that we should check out to get something to eat in that area?
Man, Wagon Wheel.
Yep.
Front Porch. I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. RAD Coach Cannon makes the best chicken wings you have ever ate in your life. And if y'all come up, I tell him all the time, he's a woman, I marry him. That man can cook. He won't tell me what he puts on those wings, man, but he knows what he's doing. So if y'all come up, I'll let him know to make y'all some chicken wings.
I love it. Yeah, Wagon Wheel's a favorite of mine, so that's definitely a good spot. But last one here for you, Coach. What are some of the goals you guys have for that 2024 season?
To win the last one. And that means we win the last one. That means we win the state championship. But now you always want to win all your home games. But, we've won the region 2 years in a row, so obviously that's up there. And to win the state championship. So I tell the guys all the time, if you ain't first, you last. So it's state championship or bust. And, past 2 years, what we've done, we're going to continue to build on that. And, hopefully we can get over that hump in the playoffs.
This has been great. I want everyone to go check out Coach Usher and the Lions program on Twitter and Facebook and all social media. They do a great job posting updates on their program and their kids. Definitely check them out on there. Like I mentioned, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc. at Movin Chains, movinchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Moving the Chains brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Jarrell, any other coach let him go today?
Coach Usher, thank you for your time. We really appreciate you doing this for us, and it's been great, getting to meet you and learn about your story. That's a program at Lewisville that we've really been following closely the last few years, and know that you have a very passionate fan base and a lot of support. And we know you're going to do a great job, and you've been on staff there, so you know how special it's been. And we just really love to see your progression and your growth as a coach, and really want to see you guys get after it this year. So stay healthy, and again, just thank you for joining us today.
Hey, man, thank y'all, and thank y'all for everything y'all do for high school sports, especially in South Carolina, man. It's special, man. I love getting up during the week and watching everything, and, just thank y'all.
We appreciate that, Coach. Look forward to stopping by our practice or a game, getting to meet you in person, and best of luck, all right?
All right, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Movin' the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Movin' Chains on all social media platforms and visit movinchains.com today.